And welcome inside the Backstage Pass, another week of shows. And of course, we feature the best and brightest talent here on the show, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. If you haven't checked out our sponsors, make sure you do that at the bottom of the screen, honkytonktexas.us, for the concert schedule over in Silsbee, Texas. And, of course, our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. Put your order in now, easyliquor.com or bangtail.com. Of course, hightidecountry.net. You can find us there, and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Well, I love this because you guys know I love music so much. I love song titles, and I never thought I would have one on here, but it's time to go jump in the kiddie pool. And to do that with, we're going to do that today with Miss Olivia Harms here on the Backstage Pass. Olivia, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Brandon. How are you doing?
It's good to see you and good to finally just put this together because I've been a huge fan of your music, and you've got the Texas country sound, the whole package, doing well on this Monday. It's hard to believe it's like the first full week of August. I don't know where
I
time.
know it's flown right by all summer. I mean, I went from being down in Texas, coming up north for a little while, going on tour with my band, and going back to Texas for a couple weeks, back up north for a couple more weeks, do some rodeos, and then back to Texas. And boy, the whole summer is just flying by. It's crazy.
Keep it busy. This song is generating a lot of interest out there too. A lot of cool buzz, which is what we'll get to here in a little bit. I want to get your backstory as far as the connection with music. Every artist has a very unique story of when they first picked up a guitar, or like I said, driving in the car, the parents had turned on the radio, listening to something. What was yours? What was your kind of first connection to music that got you hooked?
I was literally born into music. So my mom is a singer-songwriter, and she's actually in the Western Music Hall of Fame. And she had a run in Nashville in the late 80s, early 90s. And so I really was born into music. Actually, my first gig was 2 days old because she had a show with Clint Black, Lori Morgan, Ricky Skaggs, all these folks that she said I can't miss. Is at the Portland Speedway because I'm born and raised in Oregon. And she said, I can't miss it. So, Doc, if the kid isn't out, what are we going to do? And he said, come in on the 13th. We can induce. And sure enough, I was still hanging out. So on the 13th, she went in room 13 on June 13th, and at 1:13, which of course military time is 13:13, I was born. And 2 days later, on June 15th, that was my first show. So I had no other choice but to right out of the chute into music, and I loved it. I grew up traveling with her. Started singing "I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart" when I was really little. Had my own little song I wrote called Coyote Yodel, and then I went into doing like harmonies for her. And then, when Santa Claus brought me a guitar at 6, I started playing and writing. And so by the time I was in high school, I really did start stepping out and doing shows on my own or finding little venues that would have me. And I just always wanted to be a musician ever since I can remember. And so I'm very blessed that I get to do it now.
During the pandemic time, you guys have released a song that really, it sticks even with me today, and I'm sure it's still a part of your show. Hey There Cowboy, which was a cool vibe, man. Again, that dance hall kind of feel, 90s country, where I just go in there and, like I said, throw a quarter, jukebox, hit my selection, and it would just play it like a diner or something back in the day. It shows how old I am now. But I love that style of music. I love that song. Just tell us a little backstory of Hey There Cowboy, and this just really a lot of cool things for your career, a lot of cool buzz.
It's been a really great song for me, and it's so funny because I grew up around rodeos in the Western lifestyle. I'm come from a ranch that's been in our family for 150 years, and I just grew up around cowboys. And so when I was old enough to start playing beer gardens, after the rodeos and little dance halls and whatever, I'd go play, and usually I'd bring some of my girlfriends, to hang out with me. So when I was done playing music, I had some of my friends there to go have a beer with when I was done. And it was always so funny to me that as soon as I'd get off the stage, they'd come over and they'd say, "You won't believe what stories we've heard or what weird pickup lines have been used on us tonight." And I thought, these boys, they just don't know that these pickup lines aren't working for them. So if I was going to go say hi to a cowboy, I think I'd be pretty straightforward about it and just say, "Hey, cowboy, what's your name?" Start with the basics. And so I started writing this song, and I kind of meant it as a joke at first, just kind of as like a little joke song. And then we got this groove going. I took it to Nashville, and I already had most of the lyrics. And I said, I don't know if this is anything, but let's see. And they added that baritone guitar, that instant lick that's at the beginning, and I thought, we've got ourselves kind of a cool jam, and it's a lot of people have liked it.
It's a great song, no doubt, too. And I tell you, the health of this industry now, you look at over the past few months, and really probably longer than that, 2 to 3 years, in this run that so many great female artists have been on. Lainey Wilson and Lindsay L. Jody Messina making this
Yeah.
huge comeback now. Give me your thoughts of just the industry and this really cool, needed, at least for me, I think so, in my opinion, for what that's worth, needs to have in this industry when it comes to this female movement now of so many strong female artists, both from the States, Canada, overseas, coming from all
Yeah.
different directions.
I think it's amazing. It's time that women are present again in country music, in all music, really. I mean, I love to listen to the ladies just as much as I love to listen to the men, and we all have different perspectives, you know. And I am so glad that ladies are present in country music and all music again, because you know there's some really big powerhouse ladies. We just got to get to past the all the hoops that they kind of made
Mhm.
us jump through in the beginning, because there's you got like Miranda Lambert, Shania Twain, Martina McBride, Jody Messina. They're all like super
Mhm.
powerhouse ladies once they get to a certain point, and then everyone loves them. But it seems like for those first few steps, sometimes we've gotten skipped over. So it's nice to see people saying these are the new ladies of country music, or these are the new faces, and giving us a little bit more attention, because I think it's really important to kind of show all, just like it's important to show all the genres. You know, there's I am more traditional country, western,
Mhm.
Texas music. You have more like your southern rock, Texas music, a lot of folk, Americana, and then there's of course the pop country that's going on in Nashville. And just as it's important to show all the different genres within country music, it's also important to show our ladies just as much as the guys.
Yeah, no doubt. And everybody has their challenges that go through this because, as we all know it, and I've been around it now for a lot of years, success doesn't happen overnight. Tell me about some of the challenges you go through as an artist to get, again, your music out there, kind of go where you want to go, because a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. And to hear it from you guys is totally different from every artist of like challenges they go through.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the hardest thing I find is just like planning tours, you know, because for a lot of artists of my level or of other folks' level that we're still, just kind of doing things independently, we're not signed to a label and we're just traveling around, it's really hard to be able to make that leap into making a living of doing music. And then once you get to that kind of threshold, it's harder to say, okay, well, now I want to tour. I don't want to just be based in Fort Worth and have my Fort Worth fans, or my fans that were up in the Northwest. I want to have like nationwide fans, and the only way to do that is really get down in the trenches and say, okay, I'm going to hit the road. And that's what I had to do. I bought a travel trailer 2 years ago right after COVID, and I thought I'm going to go figure out how to play music in other places, because I
Mhm.
was born and raised in the Northwest, and that's really what got me down to Texas, is because I thought this is the music I play. These are the kind of people that get my music. Every time I've played there, it's been so like wonderfully received that I've got to get down there. And so I thought, I don't have a place to live. You know, when you're touring, you can't be hotel hopping all the time. That gets expensive. And I got my dogs, they have to come everywhere with me. So I bought this trailer and, kind of guerrilla put a tour together, just called a whole bunch of places, and some of them were nice enough to have me, and kind of just put this little tour together and traveled around in my travel trailer. And it was really hard to be down in the
Mhm.
trenches and driving all this way and kind of taking a gamble just to see if people were gonna like me, like I kind of was hoping they might. But once you get through those tough moments and those hard battles of
Mhm.
fighting for your for music career, I feel like the wins that you get from all that hard work are so much sweeter, because after I did that and I had such a great welcoming and people said, well, you belong down here, girl, and I thought I sure do. So it made it so much sweeter and like worth all the hard work.
Well, it's where it's albums like Rhinestone Cowgirl that get me fired up too, because there's so many cool things on there. I was actually jamming to it coming back from San Antonio this past weekend too, and loved everything about it. We're going to break down some of these songs, including the new single "Kiddie Pool," which is off there too. I love it. Just makes you think it's a good field time summer song for me. Is the way I looked at it too over the past few months too. Now that summer's, I guess, so I say winding down, but back to school's coming up, and of course,
Yeah.
there's probably 2 or 3 weeks left in the official side of summer there too. Well, have you play that one, and of course another one off the album, which is fantastic, guys. If you hadn't heard it, go download it everywhere. You guys can download music. We'll take our first time out here more with Olivia Harms. It is the Backstage Pass powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Almost 2 weeks now. Kickoff coming up. High school football. We'll have it there. And of course, CajunCountryRadio.com. And of course, our friends over at HighTideCountry.net. More with Olivia. It is the Backstage Pass, Kiddie Pool, and a host of other songs coming up here. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, it is the regular time. We're back to now from here on until I say otherwise here, because it's my platform and I can just determine time slots when I want to. The SportsGuysPodcast.com and, of course, HighTideCountry.net. It is the Backstage Pass. So coming up here in a couple of weeks, the Vider Pirates on your station out there, CajunCountryRadio.com. Yours truly, Robbie Lynn and Kevin and Mary Mercado on the call. Looking forward to a great season there, as we always love high school football. The response we get from the community is very overwhelming. Love that out there. And, of course, we'll continue the shows here tomorrow. Tracy Lynn going to stop by if you hadn't heard of her. Whew, man, you got to look up some music out there. Then on Wednesday, our good friend, show favorite, Kelly Lang, here on the show to talk about her new single here. And, of course, a couple of weeks, staying busy, Heath Wright from Ricochet, putting out a new album here in a couple of weeks. So if you remember Daddy's Money, we'll talk about that and then some with Heath Wright from the great group Ricochet. Back here with Olivia Harms on the Backstage Pass, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. The album Rhinestone Cowgirl came out in May of 2021. Kitty Pool's the current single off of there, too. I'll tell you what, good place to start with the single or dealer's choice, wherever you want to get us going here with the performance. I'm ready.
Yeah, well, I can play the single for you. Why not? Let's do it since we're on it.
It is catchy.
I'm glad you like it. I'm so glad. I grew up listening to Dolly Parton, and she was always one of my favorites. And so I've played her song Jolene as long as I can remember. When I started doing my first gigs and everything, I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to add to my repertoire. And I always got to thinking, what would I do if Jolene took my man, right? Like, what would I do? And I got to thinking about it. And I thought, well, I'm in a trailer when I'm traveling around on tour. I got my 2 rescue cow dogs. I love wine. I always have wine somewhere in my house or my trailer or wherever. And so I think if Jolene took him, I would wish them both safe travels and say adios. And, I just set up shop and have a nice little kiddie pool party in my backyard,
It's
so,
catchy.
so we'll play it for you.
Here we go.
Call me up one more time with some lame excuse. Truck broke down on the edge of town, swore it was the truth. It don't matter 'cause I know better, I've heard his lies before. If he comes by, he'll be surprised I'm locking my front door. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. Looks like he's setting me up again, but he thinks I'm taking it harder. I'm playing it cool, doing alright. Stereo on and Christmas lights, hats recline and a bottle of wine underneath the stars. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. That's right.
Having some technical difficulty. There we go. We got you back. I think it's your microphone. Your microphone is. We'll get her back. All right, then we got you back there. And I tell you what I'm going to do, because the microphone had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. And so I'm going to have you actually start that whole song over again, because you went away for a second. That's just, when we're live, we say live because that's live broadcasting.
Well,
it happens sometimes.
We'll just do it again.
We'll do it again. And I love the song so much. We're going to do it again here too, because I know you went black a couple of times. The screen faded away. And I love your tone so much. We're going to do the song again. So it's all yours. And this time, like I said, everybody, please do not call Olivia while she's performing.
Yeah, don't call me. I had someone call, and I think that's what blew us
That's
all
what
up.
does it. No doubt. Here we go.
Well, we'll do it again. There's no harm in that. Call me out one more time with some excuse. Truck broke down on the edge of town. Swore it wasn't true. It don't matter, 'cause I know better. I've heard his lies before. If he comes by, he'll be surprised. I'm locking my front door. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. Looks like he stood me up again. That he thinks I'm taking it harder. I'm playing it cool, doing alright. Stereo on and Christmas lights. Hats flying and a bottle of wine underneath the stars. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. We're making it good so far. Haven't been chopped off yet. Probably drinking beer with his buddies at the local honky tonk. Says he's gonna give it up, but I know he won't. This ain't no pity party. I'm having the last laugh. Me and my two cow dogs, we're gonna make us laugh. In the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. Looks like he stood me up again, but he thinks I'm taking it harder. I'm playing it cool, doing alright. Stereo on and Christmas lights. Patsy Cline and a bottle of wine underneath the stars. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. It's gonna get even better now. Well, it's a classy kind of trailer park. They don't give a rip. So about midnight I might turn out the lights and take a skinny dip. Oh, just me and those dogs. In the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. Looks like he picked me up again, but he thinks I'm taking it harder. I'm playing it cool, doing alright. Stereo on and Christmas lights. Patsy Cline and a bottle of wine underneath the stars. I'm in the kiddie pool with a garden hose out in my backyard. Well, thank God there's a kiddie pool and a garden hose out in my backyard. That's right.
You have so much. Your voice is so beautiful. I love it so much. The charm,
thanks,
the grace
Brandon.
in it, the angelic feeling. When I first heard that song, I said, man, that is real down home neo-traditional country music from Olivia Harms. I loved it so much. It was that.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And we didn't get interrupted that time, so we made it.
It's all good. We made it through it too. That's part of broadcasting here, is adapt, improvise, and overcome. And of
That's
course,
right.
that's on the Rhinestone Cowgirl album and the latest single. And I know you guys, being the latest single, had to have great response of something that really good, done well on an album, to want to kick that out as a single in the early part of July. And the response has been really cool. And I'm sure Texas radio has adapted to that. As far as the writing and everything else, everything comes from personal experience. And I really feel like a lot of your songs come from personal experience. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how else to write except if it's, authentic to me.
Mhm.
I really try to write authentically. So something that I truly feel or reflects my personality or something that I've been through. I always tell people that as a songwriter, I love writing songs about anything, but I could try to write a song about skateboarding and it would not be authentic. I would probably use all the wrong terms. Maybe it would rhyme and sound okay, but people would be able to tell just by listening to it that it wasn't a good reflection of me. And so I try to make sure that all my songs are reflecting who I am and my past and, part of what makes me Olivia Harms. And so I'm glad that it shows through.
I love it too. And there's so many good things on Rhinestone Cowgirl for everybody out there. We mentioned Kitty Pool. I Don't Need You, But I Want You. That was one of my favorite ones on there too that I loved a lot. Tell us a little backstory of that one.
Yeah. So I'm at the age, I'm 28. So all my friends have been getting married. And even, when the album was released, lots of friends getting married at this age. And I was talking to one of my friends, and we'd been friends forever since grade school and through high school. And she was telling me that she was pretty sure about him, but she felt like she needed him. And I thought, I don't know if I love that. I would rather be with someone only because I want to be with them, not because I need them. And so as you do when you're songwriting, and I was with one of my co-writers, and I was telling him the story, and he said, well, I think that's a good song title. That's what women these days need to hear, is that women, men, whoever it is, you don't want to be with anybody unless you just truly want to, but don't be with them because you need them.
Love that too. I'm gonna go across the pond because my buddy David tunes in from England, all the way in Cumbria, England over there. Always good to have him tune in. If you got a question for Olivia or any of the guests I always have on the show, it's always good. You can chime in, ask some questions, and I'm not the only one talking, so that's usually a good thing there, even though you only see my eyes right now. But, of course, we're putting the comment on the screen there, watching from England. Olivia, tell us who inspired you to pick up a guitar and sing a song on the guitar. She's going to do another one here in just a little bit.
All right. Yes. Well, I have to say my greatest influence is definitely my mom. I mean, I grew up around music. She was the one who really encouraged me. There after a certain point, though, she was saying, don't do music. It just do something else, do it as a hobby. But it's a really hard music career because she knows, she's been through the ups and downs of it. And she was never a show mom, was never pushy of me getting into the industry. She always encouraged me, whatever I wanted to do. But I would say she's the one who inspired me, because I got to see how she could play music and write songs, and people would come up to her and say, hey, this song that you wrote, it really touched me, or it helped me through a really hard time. And for me, that's what inspired me to do music and play guitar and write songs, is I wanted to help people and try to make them happy, even if they're going through something hard, or whether it's just a silly song like Hey There Cowboy, get them all amped up to go out on a Friday or Saturday night or Monday or whenever it is. I just want to be like that friend that they have through music. And I think that if you play an instrument, write songs and all that, you're kind of a friend to a lot of people, even though you don't know it.
I tell you what, I love this album so much because, again, there's something for everybody on there too. Bakersfield, Gypsy, Neon Blue, we're going to talk about here after this next break. And, of course, have one more performance from Olivia here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. And more with Olivia Harms. Quick timeout. Of course, surprise dealer's choice. You never know what she's going to play here. Coming back from break. Quick timeout here. We're coming back. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back on the show, Olivia Harms, our guest today, kick off the first full week in August, or I guess the first full week with 5 days in it here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Football season just a few weeks away, and I'm excited about that. Get to work with my buddy Robbie Lynn, Kevin, and Mary Mercado again. CajunCountryRadio.com. Here's some of the best Cajun classics and country music out there from Cajun side of things. Wayne Toops and all that good stuff on that very radio station coming up here in a few weeks. Download the app now because we're just a few weeks from countdown to kickoff for 10 weeks. The home games and away games for the Vider Pirates will be on there. And, of course, presented by our friends here on the Backstage Pass at Bangtail Whiskey, and, of course, our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. You can also catch us on internet radio at hightidecountry.net. Well, I'll tell you what, time for another performance. Is it going to be something on Rhinestone Cowgirl?
I think so. Yeah, you were talking about Neon Blue, and that was my my first single that I released down in Texas, and I was really curious to see how it would go. Because I wrote it about my small town. I grew up in a really small town called Canby, Oregon. And in our little town, there's only 2 bars. And so on a Friday or Saturday or Monday, whatever night of the week you want to go out, I'd always call my gal pals. And when we were old enough, we'd start to go out on the town. But then we ran into this problem that most small towns have. If there's a breakup in town, then, word travels real fast and you don't want to run into the boys. And they were always at the nice bar. So we ended up having to go across town to like the rougher side. And it's this place called the Spinner, and it's more of a shed than it really is a bar. But if the beer was cold and we could do some dancing and we were there together, we realized it really didn't matter where we went as long as we were there having a little bit of fun. And so that's what inspired Neon Blue. And I was really happy. It went all the way up to number 29 on the Texas Top 100 chart. So not too bad for a little gal from Oregon trying to make it in Texas.
No doubt. Here we go.
There's only 2 bars in this tiny little town, and I really need a drink. I drove the extra mile and with her up for crowd, cause I know right where you'll be. My friends are all here and the band just took the stage. They've ordered me a beer. Might as well enjoy myself while I'm drinking you away, make your memory disappear. I'm gonna drown my sorrows in neon blue, find a cowboy to dance me around the room. I'll forget you for the night is through. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. Oh, that's right. Probably sitting there thinking, crying over you, boy, you couldn't be more. Not wasting my time, I got better things to do, and the band just played my song. I'm gonna drown my sorrows in neon blue, find a cowboy to dance me around the room. I'll forget you for the night is through. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. Not saying it didn't hurt when I watched you drive away, but through the cigarette smoke and the sticky floors, I know I'm in a better place. I'm gonna drown my sorrows in neon blue, find a cowboy to dance me around the room. I'll forget you for the night is through. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue. No, my heart's not broke, I'm just neon blue.
Love it. Love it. It's an album you listen to all day long. You love country music as much as I do. It just plays and plays and plays even more out there. Rhinestone Cowgirl, the featured album there from Olivia Harms, Neon Blue. Amazing how that great song came together. I wanted to push out some of your shows too. I know coming up here too as well. You guys have Albany, Oregon, I believe tomorrow night. It's going to be on Hickory Station, and then over to Wilsonville, if I'm correct on that, Wilsonville Farmers Market on the 10th. And then the Red Hawk Winery in Salem, Oregon, which I know is a beautiful part of the country there, August 11th. So for more on those, oliviaharms.com. I told you we do our homework here on the show, so definitely want to put it there and make sure you guys do a little shopping out there too, have a little fun, and while you're there, get some merch. You may see me wearing Olivia Harms t-shirt in Texas here where I'm at, and going to some concerts real soon here over the next few weeks before summer does eventually. As it's coming to
no kiddie pool season right now, but it'll cool down before we know it.
And thank God, I guess one of the things to be thankful for, I know it's, 1 billion degrees outside, But they say, knock on wood, this is keeping these storms away. I don't want to say the actual term for it, but knock on wood.
Thank goodness.
Be lucky, almost September. Not that one can't happen, but man, this high pressure they've had with these hot temperatures out there is keeping these storms from forming. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because I don't want to jinx anything out there. We'll take a time out here, come back with a final segment with Olivia Harms here on the Backstage Pass Rapid Fire coming up here. Our fun segment here. Kirsty, I love this too. Every time we go to Nashville and do CRS for Country Radio Seminar, the artists have a blast with this. So I know Olivia's going to really enjoy this too as well. Word from our friends at Banktail Whiskey, also at HighTideCountry.net, and of course, Honky Tonk Texas. And you catch us at the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Final segment with Olivia coming up. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show again, of course, tomorrow, good friend Tracy Lynn is going to stop by. Fantastic country artist out there. And, of course, a great show favorite on Wednesday. Love her. She's just been an awesome lady entrepreneur for country music. Kelly Lang coming here on the Backstage Pass. If you don't know who that is the wife of the legend T.G. Shepherd. TJ's been here on the show many times, and of course, always good to talk to Kelly about her new projects, releases, and music out there, because we did catch her actually in Nashville, and she came in all these great earrings, and she always wears, like you, the fashionable outfits and the hats. So the women of country music, just like a Jeannie Seeley or Dolly Parton or Kelly Lang, it just they're awesome. I remember one time Lori Morgan was on the beach. I talked to her on the show here, glasses on, just hair kind of combed,
So glam.
so glam. Just I enjoyed it too. You ladies do it right. Y'all know your fashion. I sure as hell don't, but the ladies we interview here on this program, they know their fashion. Back here with Olivia Harms on the Backstage Pass at HighTideCountry.net and the SportsGuysPodcast.com. A grand slam of sports and music. All right, let's jump into rapid fire, or the kiddie pool, we could say here, deep in, I guess. Well, kiddie pool's not deep, but at least we're pretending it is here on the show. Last show to binge watch for Olivia Harms. What was it?
Last show to binge watch. Let's see. I don't get to watch a lot of Netflix, but my friend tried to get me to watch Outlander.
Okay.
And that's the last TV show on Netflix that I was watching was Outlander. I haven't made it through the first season yet, so I'm obviously not very good at binge watch. But if I go to binge watch, I'm always on like Friends or How I Met Your Mother,
Okay.
all those girl shows, Little Gossip Girl, all that good stuff.
My wife's in the one now called, it's an Australian soap opera. That's all I know. I don't watch it. Just kind of little bits and pieces. Neighbors, and it's supposed to be pretty good. I'm not sure what streaming package it's on out there, but Australian soap opera she's into, and my nephew got into that, I think, the other day too. He was telling me, he says, yeah, Brandon, what? I said, no, Uncle Brandon doesn't get away from the sports music aspect of things, and I try to jump into some documentaries. I will say this, I did enjoy Shark Week this year. If you've never gotten into the Shark Week, Jason Momoa did a great job hosting it, and some of the marine biologists that did their documentaries and the things that they were looking for. This was one of the better Shark Weeks they've had on Discovery in a long time. So
that's really cool. Yeah, I was down in Texas on Shark Week, and I'm so terrible. I love playing music so much, and so then when I'm home, I feel like I really like to spend time like quiet, alone with my dogs, or listen to music. I don't even own a TV, which is like terrible. I'm like, that's insane for a 28-year-old not to own a TV, but I don't. And if I need to watch something, like if I'm like really tuned into The Bachelorette or something going on, I'll just watch it on my phone, and then I can carry it around with me because I never sit still anyway. So
that's the best thing. You know what? You don't need it. Don't worry about it. It's all. But I tell you, for me, it's like what gives me these gray hairs is this hat I'm wearing here. When it comes to sports, it's like it's a drug, man. It's addicting. And you watch your favorite baseball team. I love the Houston Astros, and it's just all the ins and outs, ups and downs of last year's ride to the World Series. And being from Texas, it's just sports and music literally just integrate one another, and it's just
They do. They're right there. I mean, it's a wild ride for all of it.
it is too. It's like going to a concert, man. Just I'm gonna hear my favorite song. I'm gonna hear my favorite song. Just give it a chance. It's coming up in the set. Just wait.
Yeah.
We all know the fans are like, no, just play this. Just play that. I'm like, it's like when you buy a record. I don't know if you ever did this when you were growing up too, but did you ever, back in the CD era for me, or at least when I guess before streaming became popular, I loved collecting vinyl. It was just something I loved doing.
Absolutely.
And like you would put it on and you wouldn't just listen to the hit song on the radio or like your favorite track.
Right.
But now it's kind of like you're a Rhinestone Cowgirl. I'll play the whole thing 2 or 3
Right.
times because every song was so good on there. Were you kind of the same, play the whole record and find other songs to make connections with, or were you just listening to that one kind of hit?
I've always been an album person. I mean, I've gotten into vinyl now. When I was young, of course, CDs were the big thing, and I would always whatever new CD came out. You know, I really like Miranda Lambert, and there's like all kinds of other people too. But for her, like that's a good example, anyways. And like as soon as her new CD would come out, I mean, I would just want that thing, and I would just study it, and I'd see who the writers were, and all the liner notes, and who produced it, and who played on it, and like just look at everything, and then listen to the songs until the thing was almost worn out, because I wanted to hear the story from start to finish and how she like organized it. How did she choose, you know, what song order to have? And so I'm with you. I'm an album person.
Right there, we're gonna make, like I said, love the same things when it comes to those full length albums too. Can't wait to meet you in person and get to a live show one of these days too, no doubt too. And check out oliviaharms.com for all those shows we had talked about there just a few minutes ago here on the Backstage Pass. All right, favorite food when you're on the road? What do you like to stop off for?
Mexican tacos and a margarita. If I can find good tacos and a good marg somewhere, I am in. I'm like so sold on it. My goal in life while I'm touring is to like scout out some of the world's best taco places. So if you have any recommendations for me, send them my way and I will gladly judge them.
I was trying to think of one. We're just in San Antonio this past weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna have to text you a couple of. Yeah, we gotta talk. I found a couple other, actually 2 places that I tried, one I saw on the Triple D diners, drive-ins, and dives, Guy Fieri. So I've got to send you some information on 2 spots in San Antonio.
Yeah, please. I would love it. I love
tacos. Actually, both these places were on Triple D. When it comes to that, that's one of my favorite shows to watch when I just have nothing else to do late at night sometime, or a game is not on, period. When it comes to toppings on pizza, what does Olivia like on her pizza?
I'm pretty big into just like all the meat. I was born on a ranch, so I like all the meat. Like cowboy pizza, that's usually my go. But you might find me being girly and get like a chicken pesto or a margarita pizza once in a while. But yeah, usually I like all the protein. Give me some sausage, pepperoni, all the stuff.
I'm with you on that too. Pizza, it is, no doubt about it too. All right, if you won the lottery tomorrow, matched all 6 numbers, what's the first thing you do with the money?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I'd probably go buy me some more music equipment. So it's like good. We love that. I'd probably buy some turquoise. Pay off my house. I bought a house in Texas, so I'd pay that off, and I don't know, save it, I guess, for down the road. But I wouldn't probably go too wild. I'm kind of a tightwad, so I'd probably like have a little fun.
All right, I like that.
Pay it off, put it in a coffee can, and hide it under my bed or something.
Nobody said put it in a coffee can. That's original. I like that right there too here on the show. All right, first song to ever sing live on the stage. The minute you had that microphone in front of you was the first tune.
Oh man, that's hard for me to pin down. It was probably like I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart. But the first time that I really remember, like on my own, a gig that I like, it was just Olivia Harms. It wasn't my mom saying, "Hey, come up and play." I remember that I joined, FFA. I was a big FFA lover, which is Future Farmers of America. And so in Oregon, I went and did like state talent my first year when I was a freshman in high school. And I didn't really know what was going to happen, but I wrote this song about my hometown, and it was one of the first songs I ever wrote. And it's kind of a play on words, in Canby, Oregon, you can be whatever you want to, and can be, whatever. And so I played that, and it was really cool because it was this big stage, all these FFA kids out there, and I got to go up and sing this song that one of the first ones I'd written, first big show. And so that one is one that always sticks out in my head.
Love that. All right, we'll finish with this one. Dream stage to step on. And I have an idea of what this might be, but I want to hear it from you.
I think the dream, I mean, for everybody's dream is the Grand Ole Opry, right?
Yeah.
That's always the dream. But I got quite a few in Texas too. I mean, I would just keel over if I got to headline a Billy Bob show one day, or Broken Spoke, or Green Hall. There's a lot of really great, wonderful venues in Texas, like the Stockyards. I just love playing in the Stockyards. So, is it okay to have a Texas answer and a Nashville answer?
That's a perfect way to do it. That's actually, I'm going to change my question now, thanks to what you had talked about. We'll say Texas stage and Nashville stage, because I've been to a lot of Texas stuff and just did the Opry for the first time as a spectator back in March during the CRS coverage that we did up there. And
awesome.
Going back next year for 24, they've announced the dates. I think it's February 28th, 29th, and March 1st for 2024. And Kirsty and I had a good time with the Opry. Got to see Randall King perform there too, which was fantastic. He's on fire right now too. And it's just a great place to see if you love live music and you want to see a whole night full of great artists, both independent up and comers and of course the legends themselves. And I'll tell you this, Olivia, nothing beat seeing the great Jeannie Seely perform on stage. Was amazing.
She's incredible.
So, 54 years, 55 years, maybe 60, somewhere in there.
Still going and still sounds.
she's amazing. Well, I tell you what, I can see dreams do come true. The story from someone, like I said, West Coast down here to Texas, making a name for herself too, loving it. And I tell you, I love everything you got going on. The vibe and the album is fantastic. Can't wait to see what's next after a Kiddie Pool. And of course, the Rhinestone Cowgirl is across all the digital platforms and the single. And check her out at oliviaharms.com. Olivia, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much for being with us. And I hope we get to do this again.
Oh, I hope so too. Yes, when I get back to Texas, let's meet up and do it again sometime.
We'll definitely do that. We can make that happen here on the Backstage Pass. Thanks to our sponsors, Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. Catch the replay of it out there across all the social media, the Sports Guys podcast.com, and of course, hightidecountry.net. We'll see you tomorrow. Good friend Tracy Lynn is going to stop by. We'll talk about her new music, Kelly Lang, this week, and a whole lot more here. Keep it tuned to the Backstage Pass. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.